Chapter 10. Goodbye Too Soon. Jim Henson never ran out of ideas. He was always excited to be starting something new. But running the business of the Muppets took up a lot of his time. In 1989, he decided to sell some of the Muppet characters to the Walt Disney Company. He thought the Disney people would take good care of the Muppets' future. But before the deal went through, something terrible happened. It began when Jim got a cold. At least, that was what he thought it was. He figured the cold would go away. Jim hardly ever got sick. He didn't smoke and was careful to eat well. When he did get sick, he never liked making a fuss about it. The following week, Jim decided to visit his dad in North Carolina. He still felt sick and was having trouble sleeping. Back in New York, he got worse. Jane helped take care of him. When he didn't come to work one day, his crew knew Jim's illness must be serious. He hardly ever took time off. At last, Jim went to the hospital. He had pneumonia, a very dangerous kind. When the crew found out, everyone began calling everyone. Friends and family came to the hospital as doctors worked to save Jim's life. It was a horrible, confusing time. On May 16, 1990, Jim died. His death surprised and saddened the world. People could hardly believe he was gone. Many children sent hand-drawn sympathy cards to honor Jim. Disney sent a big card with a picture of Mickey Mouse hugging a sad Kermit. Memorial services were held in his honor in New York and in London. The one in New York was in a beautiful stone cathedral called St. John the Divine. Thousands of people went. The cathedral filled up. More people kept coming, and some even stood outside. They just wanted to be there to celebrate the life of Jim Henson. Jim hadn't expected to die at the age of 53, but he had written down what he would like at such a memorial service. He'd hoped there would be music and that people would tell nice stories about their time with him. That's what happened. At a Dixieland jazz band played when the Saints Go Marching In. Big Bird came and sang Kermit's favorite song, Bein' Green. It was a song that Jim Henson had always performed. In the crowd there were kids holding toy Ernies, Berts, and Big Birds. Friends, family, and co-workers stood and told stories about fun times with Jim. Frank Oz spoke of Jim's generosity and how great it was to hear him laugh. Speaking to the crowd, Jane Henson said, "I hope that you'll take whatever he's given you and let it help you to enjoy life to the fullest, because he always did." His son Brian read aloud part of a letter Jim had written for his children. It said, "Please watch out for each other and love and forgive everybody. It's a good life. Enjoy it." His daughter Cheryl read other words of her father. "When I was young, my ambition was to be one of the people who makes a difference in this world. My hope is still to leave this world a little bit better than it was when I got there." To this day, the Muppets are beloved around the world. So is Jim Henson. Jim's family. Jim's 5 children are grown up now. Together, they own and run Jim Henson Company. It creates the puppets that appear on Sesame Street. In 2001, the rights to the original Sesame Street characters created by the Jim Henson Company were sold to the Sesame Workshop. All of Jim Henson's children are creative like their father. This is just some of what they've done. Lisa, Jim's oldest daughter, inspired the Storyteller series. She is the co-CEO of the company. She was the president of the Columbia Pictures for 2 years and worked at Warner Bros. For 10 years during the time the movie Batman was made. Cheryl was in charge of the Henson International Festival of Puppet Theater for 8 years and helped bring puppeteers from around the world to New York City. Before that, she helped with The Muppet Show, The Dark Crystal, and Labyrinth. Brian was the president of the company for a while after Jim died. He is now co-CEO with Lisa. Over the years, he has been a puppet maker, a puppeteer, a writer, and has directed and produced TV shows and films. John is an artist and a sculptor who has made films and has performed with the Muppet Sweetums. Heather, Jim's youngest child, keeps busy with the company, the Jim Henson Foundation, and the Jim Henson Legacy. She helps promote puppetry and works on TV, film, and theater projects. Jane Henson and Jim's family and friends established the Jim Henson Legacy in 1993. This project collects and protects everything they can find about Jim's life and work, including his drawings and old puppets. Jim Henson's Fantastic World is an exhibit they created with the Smithsonian Institution. It has traveled to cities like Seattle and Orlando. In Washington, D.C., over 360,000 people toured it. And then here's the timeline. That is the end of the book. Feel free to reread as you like.